Did you know that World War II wasn't actually the deadliest war in history? We all learned that the Second World War was the worst conflict humanity ever faced. Tens of millions dead, cities in ruins, and the world forever changed. But what if I told you that, almost a century before that, an even deadlier war raged? One so devastating that it killed more people than World War I and the American Civil War combined. And yet, most people have never even heard of it. It happened in China between 1850 and 1864. It was called the Taiping Rebellion, and it was led by a man who believed he was the younger brother of Jesus Christ. His name was Hong Xiuquan. He wasn't born into royalty or power. He was just a poor village schoolteacher who dreamed of becoming a government official. But in 19th century China, that meant passing the Imperial Civil Service exams, a brutally difficult test that only a tiny few could ever succeed at. Hong failed. Not once, not twice, but 4 times. Each failure pushed him deeper into despair. After his final attempt, he suffered a mental collapse. During his illness, he experienced visions, bright lights, heavenly beings, and a man with a golden beard who told him he was chosen to save the world. When Hong recovered, he interpreted those visions through the Christian pamphlets he had once been given by missionaries. And he came to a stunning conclusion. He was the younger brother of Jesus, sent to destroy demons and build God's kingdom on earth. Hong began to preach this new faith, a strange blend of Christianity, Chinese tradition, and his own imagination. He called it the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom. At first, few listened, but China at the time was suffering. Famine, corruption, and foreign domination had weakened the mighty Qing dynasty. Taxes were crushingly high, officials were greedy, and the people were desperate for change. Hong's message, equality, shared wealth, and divine justice, spoke to millions. Villagers, farmers, and even some soldiers joined him. His followers grew into a powerful army, the Taiping Heavenly Army. By 1853, just 3 years after the rebellion began, Hong's forces had captured the massive city of Nanjing. They declared it their new capital and renamed it Heavenly Peace. There, Hong ruled as the Heavenly King. Inside his kingdom, he tried to create a new kind of society. Private property was abolished. All land and goods were supposed to be shared equally. Opium, gambling, alcohol, and prostitution were banned. Women were allowed to own property, take government exams, and even serve as soldiers. Revolutionary ideas for the time. But the dream quickly turned dark. The Taiping leadership was divided by jealousy, paranoia, and fanaticism. Hong lived in luxury, claiming divine authority, while his generals fought among themselves. Dissent was punished by execution. Even loyal followers could be killed for questioning orders. Meanwhile, the Qing dynasty struck back. They raised new armies, some led by local warlords, others trained by Western officers. Britain and France, who had just fought China in the Opium Wars, decided that the Taiping were bad for trade and quietly sided with the Qing. The war descended into horror. Cities changed hands again and again. Entire provinces were burned to the ground, civilians were slaughtered, fields destroyed, rivers choked with bodies. Famine and disease spread faster than any army could march. By 1864, the once glorious Heavenly Kingdom was collapsing. Nanjing fell after a brutal siege. Hong Xiuquan died, some say from illness, others say by suicide, believing God would soon raise him again. He never did. When it was finally over, the numbers were almost impossible to comprehend. Historians estimate between 20 and 40 million deaths, soldiers, peasants, women, and children. Most died not from bullets or swords, but from hunger and disease that followed years of destruction. To put that in perspective, the Taiping Rebellion killed more people than any war in human history until the 20th century. More than the Napoleonic Wars, more than the American Civil War, and nearly as many as both world wars combined. And yet, outside of China, barely anyone knows it happened. It didn't redraw world maps or involve the great Western empires on a global scale, so history books in the West rarely mention it. But its impact on China was enormous. The Qing dynasty survived, but it never truly recovered. The rebellion left the empire weakened, broke, and vulnerable, paving the way for later uprisings, the fall of the imperial system, and eventually, the birth of modern China. So next time someone says World War II was the deadliest war in history, remember this: a century before tanks, airplanes, and nuclear bombs, millions died in a war, led by a man who believed he was God's chosen brother. The Taiping Rebellion, a forgotten war that reminds us how powerful ideas can be, and how, in the wrong hands, they can destroy an entire nation.